book that you will soon find at Barnes & Noble or Amazon. Different electronic book outlets are going to have this here in a couple of weeks. It is called Blueghost Reveille. Blueghost Reveille is written by John W. Harris, who is joining us this morning. Mr. Harris, good to see you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Blueghost Reveille, tell me what this book is all about.
Basically, it's about a 22-year-old who got drafted at 21.
Right.
And went through basic, AIT, NCO school, all those things, and wound up in Vietnam as a squad leader. And then for the final 3 months of my tour, I was a platoon sergeant at 22.
Right. Awful lot of responsibility for one 22 years of age.
It will grow you up, no doubt about it. I learned a lot about myself and a lot about other people. It's
Sure.
one of the highlight learning experiences of my life.
I can well imagine. Tell me about the book.
Well, what motivated me to do it was my younger daughter, Jennifer, gave me a book about 5 years ago, and it was 38 questions. And there were things like, where did our family originate? And they gave you half a page, excuse me, to answer those questions.
Right.
And they were like, what was your first job, and what did you make, and what did you do?
Sure.
What was your first car? How much did it cost, and what did you like about it? Well, I sat on that for about 2 years and didn't do it. Because writing's not easy, even something as simple as that. So I put my head down and did it, and got such a great reception in the family.
Right.
And then my grandson, who's now 17, he calls me Big Daddy. He had always been curious about, I think it's in the DNA of boys to be curious about war.
Sure.
And so he would ask me questions, and so I answered as best as I could, and he would say, Big Daddy, you need to write some of this stuff down.
What was it like when you went through when you started and then partway through the writing process on this?
Well, I got started one day. I was getting a new set of tires. It's like waiting in the doctor's office, you know.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there in this waiting area, and I said, by golly, if I'm going to write this, I got to get some organization to it. So I started brainstorming about topics, and my gosh, I had 70 topics before I left there. And so then the book was just going back and putting meat on the bones of all those.
You don't hear a lot of folks from Vietnam who are willing to talk about their wartime experiences, much less put it in book form.
Yeah.
What made you different?
Well, I've been very lucky. When I got home from Vietnam, I went back to college. I'd had 2 years of junior college playing basketball.
Right.
Doing just enough academically to stay eligible to play volleyball.
Sure.
And then while I was gone, the school I went to changed and started off with a bachelor's degree. So I wanted to go back on the GI Bill and get that done. Well, it turns out about half the campus was veterans. So we would sit and talk about things, and I didn't realize what great therapy that was at the time. Because so many of these kids that came back from the war, at 18, 19, 20 years old, went right back into their old home settings, and boom, with no way to decompress or talk. And then I put it away for a long, long time. And then when the internet came about, you were able to find people. So we started locating folks, and we had a mini reunion in Atlanta. And now this year, we're going to meet in Orlando. Will be our 18th reunion.
Wow.
And I have learned, back to your question, talking about it now is so important to so many people, because I'm totally convinced holding that stuff in is mentally and physically unhealthy.
Sure.
So the book is just part of an outlet on that.
So give us an example of what the book covers. Just your personal experiences.
Yeah, pretty much.
Doesn't matter if it was the experiences in Vietnam. It can't be all pretty and rosy.
No. But it's this nice mixture, I think, of mundane stuff that we just stuff you got to do in a war zone to make things keep functioning, and then some of it's humorous, and then some of it's very, very serious. But I chose not to make the book as heavy as I could have.
Sure.
I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day. I just ticked off 6 names of guys that got killed with us that are not even mentioned in the book.
When you sat down to write, was there a writer's style that you were trying to emulate, a certain writer that was one of your favorites that you thought you would write in their style, or you just decided to pour this out from the soul?
It's strictly from my heart and soul, and it's in my style, I guess. It's short vignettes mostly, and to the point, and I've been extremely pleased with the feedback I've gotten so far. They say it's a very conversational style.
I was going to ask you how the reception of the book had been among some of the people that were there with you. Have they read it? What was their take on it?
Hey, that's been my second biggest endorsement, is that guys who were in my squad and in my platoon have contacted me
Right.
and said that they love the book, that it's right on track, and that they're bought additional copies for their kids and grandkids.
You said that was your second biggest endorsement. What was your first?
The first was my grandson, Frankie. He read the manuscript and about 4 or 5 months ago, and he sent me an email note, and like I say, he calls me Big Daddy. So he said, Big Daddy, he said, I read your manuscript, and I'm proud that you're my grandpa.
Ring and endorsement. Good place to leave it there. John, where
Yeah.
can we pick the book up?
It's online at Amazon.com, and read the reviews on Amazon. I think you'll like that. And Barnes & Noble, and it's going to be on the ebook outlet shortly.
Right. Again, the name of the book is Blueghost Reveille and is written by Lookout Mountain's John W. Harris. Check it out. Again, available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other ebook outlets coming soon. Mr. Harris, thank you so much again. Appreciate you
thank
coming
you.
down and spending a few minutes with us.
Absolutely.
Hang in there. We're going to talk about Ice on the Landing when we come back.